Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11. Episode 11 of Chemically Bonded. Last time was pretty wild, pretty epic, I would say. We went on a rendezvous/date with Naomi, and it just kind of, got a little more connected. We put our hand on her shoulder, which was it moved me emotionally. Physically, I wanted to coom, and I just had a great time overall. I thought it was a banger of an episode, if I do say so myself. And we ventured into act number 2. I hope we get to act 3 freeze. That would be pretty epic. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the episode. Strap on for episode 11. Chirping. Sunlight. Cars driving past down the street. The sounds of the morning once again greet me as I slowly raise myself from my heavy slumber. It's always going to be a good episode when you start off with sunlight. Damn, I'm tired. Aches creep across my skin, deepening themselves within my muscles, a piercing sensation. The pain itself further waking me, just another reason why I should probably join Naomi in the gym. Then again, maybe Kyoko can come up with some sort of medicine. What am I thinking? To have the thought of these girls on my mind after just waking up, maybe it proves how closer we've really become, or maybe I'm just a creep. Either way, it's not like I can avoid it any longer. Recalling Naomi's piercing voice, yesterday's conversation still floats around my head as I ponder the thoughts of today's date.
Fine, I will. Just don't think of it as a date. It's not every day I meet up with a guy after school.
I really like how the game utilizes flashbacks. It's pretty epic. Her words, resonating that very typical sense of disgust-filled embarrassment, strike back to me as my body continues to slowly awaken. Naomi, faced with the dilemma of her and Kyoko's relationship, caught up in her own disdain for herself, regret. Her blue eyes deeper than any ocean, only holding the one thought that's kept her going. Kyoko. Stifling a laugh, my hand clasps my mouth as I'd imagine what Naomi's reaction would be if she were to find out I've been thinking about her. I don't want to wake anyone up this early, but I can't help but gaze over her flushed yet weirdly aggressive face in my mind. Luckily, she can't read it. Darting my eyes towards my test, a subtle vibration averts my attention away from thoughts of Naomi towards my one. A message. The message, for those of you who are listening on SoundCloud, says, "Meet me at symbol the gates B4 class," like the letter B and the number 4, B4 class. And they're quickly back to her. Maybe she is telepathic. Scanning the contents of the message, it doesn't exactly seem overly aggressive, yet she has a tendency to make almost anything frightening. Meet me at the gates before class. With her complex over people seeing us together, I don't really think she's thought that through, but not meeting her would probably result in something much worse. Guess I'll have to go. As the clock continues to tick, I finish up my daily routine, embraced by the sunlight seeping through my window. A morning of tranquil idleness, almost idyllic in and of itself. I'm about to go to school, is what I'd say, but unfortunately I'm not a Mo high school girl. I can't even spare time to have breakfast, let alone running out the door with toast in my mouth. Just hit me with a truck right now, I'm begging you. That's good water. Walking through the warm morning air, the sight of the school gates meets me as I look onwards towards the crowd of students piling towards the doors. Sunlight, basking all of us, as to be expected on a traditional spring day. If I had access to the script, I would love a word count and like removing all articles, names, so like a, the, all of that stuff of just leave every other like noun. I would love to see how frequent the word sunlight comes up, because is it just me, or like does every few sentences mention the sunlight? I don't know. Maybe I'm gay. As for me, well, I'm basking in the apathy of not wanting to attend lessons. Just another traditional thing for cliched high school guys. I may as well get going myself. Nice. With the gates just before my eyes, a familiar set of hair captures their sprawled gaze as each auburn strand flows in the mild spring breeze. Her own directed towards the floor as she idly twiddles her thumbs, a poor attempt to hide her flushed, reddened cheeks. Is she really that concerned about people seeing us? Striding towards the school gates, striding towards her, those quaint azure eyes lift themselves from the ground towards me. She's noticed. So azul is blue in Spanish. What is it? What is this? Azure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Granted, she was standing here waiting for me, despite her typical attitude of pushing me as far away as possible. Today's different. Joining her within the musical world surrounding her, Naomi too moves herself towards me, lips curled up into a smile.
Hey!
This is out of character for her. Hey? Running up beside me, Naomi's hand reaches behind me, patting me against the back. A Goldilocks method. Dude, she's grasping it. Not too soft as to convey disgust in having to touch me, not too hard as to inflict the results of pent-up aggression. A perfectly normal, friendly pat. Continuing with her smile, Naomi's eyes look up towards me, almost with warmth, as the set of cherry lips continue to curve upwards in fondness. What's gotten into her?
You're not going to forget, right? You're meeting me in the gym later.
I told you I don't want to join the gymnastics team.
Not that. I wanted to talk about Kyoko.
By this point, I think that's fairly obvious. Nodding my head, our conversation continues forward. For someone so previously agitated by even being near me, having such a friendly conversation together in the midst of passing students sure is weird. I'm not going to forget that. What do you think I am? An idiot?
Not really.
Something is wrong with her.
Anyway, I'll walk on ahead. If people see you with me, they'll get jealous.
That's quite a pair of bosoms. Mouth beaming in a smile once again, Naomi's lips glisten in the sunlight as she soon turns around, hair swaying in the warm spring breeze. She's happy. It is quite weird. I wonder what's her angel here, guys? What's she digging? What's her plot? What's her scheme? Yet another small gust ruffles her skirt as she almost skips towards the school's entrance. Not enough to satisfy anyone, but still rather beautiful in itself. Why don't girls wear skirts? Is that just like a thing of the past? Is it out of style? Because I don't. Well, then again, I don't go outside. I go to the gym, but that's about it. Girls don't seem to wear skirts. This is troubling because I very much like skirts. Getting on with the episode. Despite her odd behavior, I think it's still something I can enjoy. I'll hear about it later anyway, assuming she goes back to her usual self. If that wasn't it. Transition time equals water break. Refreshing, filled with the life of students amalgamating through the corridors to head towards class. The corridors remain lively as usual. That's a great word, amalgamating. The same similar sounds of chatting, gossip, and banter flowing through the walls. Each day something new on the table.
Hey, did you hear about Naomi? I heard she set a new record the other day.
I hear that someone's trying to start out a new club. What was it? Science? Nobody's going to join that. It's run by her. Why would anyone be friends with a fraud?
Dang, that's not epic. Synchronicity. Synchronicity or coincidence. The thoughts continue to flow through my head as I pick out each and every dreg of conversation, everything pointing towards them. It's something that makes me angry. Grr. She's not a fraud. I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk about my friend like that.
Since when were you friends with a cheat? I'm surprised this loser even has any friends.
Okay, that's not epic.
I might not be his friend yet, but I know someone who is.
What the Who is this man? Who is this man who just has an unzipped track suit? He has delicious abs, though, I will say that. My man also has some nice pec separation, very rounded at the top. His clavicular head is looking pretty epic, but he talks with a British accent, so I'm going to have to dock points. Overall, 9.2 out of 10 on that cock rating for me.
You wouldn't want to upset Naomi Sato, now would you?
Out of nowhere, an almost shirtless student stands out from the idle crowd, abs striking hard against the air. He looks on to the crowd of students who'd slowly gathered around us. I'm sure the disciplinary committee would have a field day over this guy's adherence to the uniform policy.
Shit, he's right. Come on, let's go!
Backing off, the crowd begins to dissipate as I stand in awe at what just transpired. Regardless, I can't change the fact that I'm still staring square on towards a pair of glistening muscles first thing in the morning. Thanks.
Why are you so nervous? It was nothing, really. It's nice to meet you. I'm Ken Takahashi. I'm on the athletics team.
Ken Takahashi. Alright, let's look him up in our encyclopedia here. We still have... How many more characters do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 more characters? Holy moly. Reese Bridger is his voice actor here. Ken, a uniquely good-spirited character, lurks the gym like a panther, prowling on unsuspecting students he can reel into his workout routine. That's actually really epic of him. Yet despite his bravado, Ken cares a lot about the students of the school, batting a smile towards whoever's in sight. Obsessed with his looks and his deadlift, he lives a carefree life, enough to shrug off all sorts of troubles. He is the younger brother of Takahashi. I'm guessing we're going to meet him later, if they mentioned him. Very interesting. Probably my favorite character so far, just because he lifts, and that's pretty epic. Speeding forward with an introduction, the name sounds oddly familiar. Ken continues to stand before me, almost indulging himself in the atmosphere around us. Smiling, yet somehow managing to make himself overly friendly for someone I've just met. It's nice to meet you too, I guess. I'm Mark Hoppy.
Don't worry, I know all about you. She talks about you a lot.
Naomi?
Yeah, for someone like her, all I can say is good luck. If any of those creeps try coming after you, I've got your back.
Can we call him Chad? Because Ken he is a bro. Dude, like, we just met this guy and he's like, hey man, like, I know you're about to get in with Naomi and I know everyone's gonna be jealous, but I'm there for you. We just met the dude. Ken, like, he is best girl right now, without a doubt. But it's not like that. And I've just met this guy.
Is lingering around class the best kids these days can do?
Gosh, Mr. Kabir, you're so fucking creepy. Booming out from behind us, a familiar voice reaches my ears as I turn to face the suited man now before us. Our duo, now a trio.
Ah, you're that new teacher, aren't you?
It's Mr. Kabir to you.
Ah, that's right. Mr. Yamamoto retired. It's fair to say that we have economics this morning. However, with a solemn gaze directed towards us, it's clear that there are other problems which need to be dealt with.
I see you've taken to befriending troublemakers.
Swooping his eyes in my direction, Mr. Kabir looks on sternly as he quickly averts them back towards Ken, still standing there without any real care, surprisingly.
Troublemaker? Nah, that's not me.
What about your lack of consideration for a proper uniform then?
I think there's Mr. Kabir has 2 voice options. I want to try number 2. I think that'd be kind of epic. We'll see what they got for us.
It's not harming anyone.
It's harming the social conduct of ordinary school life.
Oh my... I don't know which one is worse. I'll keep number 2 for a while. I can't help but feel that I'm watching the fabric of a good old telling off being woven. Nevertheless, Ken still idles with a smile as Mr. Kabir continues to steelily address him. A cold set of eyes looking on towards the least phased person I've ever met.
Do you really think uniform like that is acceptable?
I don't know what you mean by social conduct, but it's an alright setup, you know? It's getting warmer, so I have to keep him cool.
Oh gosh. Pointing towards the lower end of his chest, Ken beams yet another smile as people within the classroom begin to chat away. It sure is an ample distraction from having to work. I have to give him credit, but it's not like I'll be able to slip away from this either.
Save that attitude for the gym. I don't really want to spend my time dealing with you.
You know I will. I'm always trying to outbench myself.
This is definitely written by people...
Just go to class. Both of you. I'd rather spend my time teaching.
Sorry, didn't think we'd get another dialogue. This is definitely written by people who don't lift, by the way. You can always tell the dialogue they use.
You know I will.
Oh, fuck.
I'm always trying...
Just
hit the
go to
scroll wheel.
class. Both of you. I'd rather spend my time teaching.
This is a scuffed playthrough. Okay, no more distractions. Walking back into the room, Mr. Kabir I think that's supposed to be let's off. So another typo, that's I'm docking points. Mr. Kabir lets off an apathetic aura enough so that his presence simmers down the once lively class. I should probably head inside too.
I'll see you around. Have a good one.
Letting off nothing less than a small wave, Ken's smile makes up for it as he walks backwards down the corridor in act of farewell. Despite being a little odd, I can't help but owe him one for sorting out the situation back there. Kyoko, staunchly attacked by her classmates, all while proudly fiddling around with a pencil as she sits in docility. I know like docile is a word. Docility behind the wall. Gosh, fuck that word. It's a shame to think that those feelings of contempt for her still linger around the school despite not being the one to blame. Oh yeah. This is a good point. I can't help but think of what Naomi says about me either. Because Ken just mentioned like, oh yeah, Naomi's always talking about you. Like what? I mean, like obviously she likes us, but like, she's talking about us already. Gosh darn. This makes my pee-pee the big pee-pee. And I need a drink. I'm enjoying this episode so far. It's pretty epic. Paired with the typical chiming of the bell, class erupts into chatter as the marking of its end comes to fruition. After economics was a short stint of geography, or geography as the kids say, headed by the only teacher on the roster that the guys actually pay attention to, Miss Sasaki, Miss Sasaki herself. Sasaki. We're going with that. Sparing the details, I rise from my seat with a mild stretch, soothing the stiffness which grasped my muscles. Being around two energetic people all the time really puts it into perspective how worn out I normally am. Kyoko, almost powered by her own reactions, filling every day with a pronounced sense of vigor I haven't experienced since middle school. As for Naomi, she doesn't hold her lively attitude, at least when it comes to insults. The thought itself making her early actions ever so weirder. Basking merrily in the sun, only to fill her voice with an eerie, happy-go-lucky heartiness, as if she'd unironically decided to become my best friend. What with all of our outings, it's not absurdly far-fetched, but I can't see it happening. Now standing in the midst of the class, my head pans over the remaining students in the class. Peering around, the sight of the usual chirpy brunette scientist isn't to be seen. For once, Kyoko isn't gushing straight from my desk with the usual, "You're coming to the club, right?" In a way, I miss that, but it still doesn't change the fact I'd agreed to meet with Naomi later. That, in itself, is just another thing to look forward to. What with Naomi's offbeat behavior this morning, I just can't wait for the dial to be pumped up to 11 when she threatens me to forget about it. The usual things I've come to expect with these two girls in my ever-changing high school routine. It's laughable, but I'd look like an idiot doing so in the middle of the classroom. Guess I should have just got some lunch. Transition time. Hit him with a quote, maybe? Not that. I wanted to talk about Kyoko, says Naomi. We haven't seen Kyoko in forever, man. 2.2 episodes or something. We call it Glimpse of her, but that was about it. We'll see if we get some more development on her front, marking the end of the day with the rhythmic chime. The bell rings out throughout the class, seeping in from the adjacent corridor. A communal sense of joy and relief coating across the room. Well, besides Kyoko anyway. Despite her apathy for the curriculum, she sits with what I can only call a pout peeking towards me from the visible side of her face. Maybe it's just me, but she should at least be a tad excited, what with club activities after all. Yet as much as I could revel in the presence of Kyoko, another thought lingers through my mind. Naomi. I'd agreed to meet with her after the club. The events of earlier, though, enough of an indication that Naomi has been pretty out of it, her friendly demeanor, a stark contrast to how she usually treats me. I'm not going to forget that. What do you think I am? An idiot?
Not really.
That was a much-needed flashback in my opinion. Is this how friends are made? I have been hanging around with her quite a bit, but I don't remember Kyoko being this much of a tsundere. She certainly is a confusing girl to understand. Speaking of Kyoko, cutting my eyes across the room to find her is now little more than a routine task. There she sits, her hair now let loose down her back as she twirls its smooth, dark allure between her fingers. It's a nice look. The school's navy blazer wrapping around her slender body certainly adds the smart edge to suit her inquisitive nature. A girl ready to learn even after the day is done and dusted. Following that routine, I rise up and make my way towards her, the class now emptying, enough of a distraction to have some fun. Wrapping my hands around Kyoko's eyes, she jolts back in surprise, almost knocking her head into my stomach. Guess who?
Da Vinci.
Close enough. Letting her go, my hands brush faintly against her hair as I return them to my side, a soft, gentle feeling.
What's wrong? You're looking a little weird.
Nothing. Maybe now that we've become so close, something like this shouldn't be such a tragedy to comprehend. After all, Kyoko seems to have no problem grabbing me whenever she wants me to follow her.
Anyway, you're looking forward to the club, right? That's why you're here.
As opposed to going straight home.
You can't do that. It'd make me sad.
Kyoko gives me an indistinguishable pout, her puffed cheeks coated with a blush as she pushes forward her lower lip. Oh, Little word jumble there. I can't tell whether or not she's being serious from her words, but with a face like that, it's straight up easy to tell she's playing around. Yet, her words still strike me as truthful. She's not the type to lie. I would have stopped going if I didn't enjoy it. I never actually said I'd join the club. I couldn't help but skirt around the issue to avoid upsetting her, really.
Well, you stayed. That's all that matters to me.
Kyoko scratches her nose like a kitten's futile attempt to try grooming itself. It's cute. Maybe in a way, she's trying to hide the fact that a sea of red coats her cheeks, but in the end, she's only drawing more attention to herself. The feeling, though, is mutual. Being able to spend time with a cute girl after class is on every guy's wish list, but to me, I can't really consider it anything special. Rather, it's normal. I'm used to this energetic, yet awkward scientist sleeping her way into almost every aspect of my school life, all because I was looking for a stupid mop. In the end, I found what I was looking for.
Anyway, we should get going. We have experiments to do.
Jumping up from her chair, the very same silky flow of hair once again brushes past me as I narrowly manage to avoid getting struck by the wooden backrest. For someone so small, she certainly has a lot of energy. A faint presence, yet someone so important in what I can now call my routine life. A friend. Yeah, we probably should. Everyone else has left. The classroom, of course, empty, now houses the two of us. Nothing but the ensemble of students heading home, mixed in with the usual chorus of other clubs starting their activities. With her joining me in the corridor, the sounds only continued to grow louder. Kyoko and I, like mice, pale in comparison to the lively aura surrounding us. Now beginning our typical walk, Kyoko's strides are as energetic as usual as we work our way towards the science lab. Her very actions reflecting the amount of heart she's put into this dream, her passions. As fond as she is of science, I can't help but think how the club might have turned out if I didn't decide to join, how Kyoko would have turned out. A girl stripped of her previous friends, her previous life, alone in the dusty room waiting for someone to befriend. It's sad, but now that I'm here, I can't help but think that to me, the entire thing is more of a fix my friendship club. Nevertheless, it's fun. Arriving outside the doors to the lab, I spot a smile gleam up on Kyoko's face. It's very apparent by now that it's routine for her. The very same look of happiness as the dreams within her heart burst out into this room, a world of magic. I still can't say I'm fond of science, but if it makes her look as cute as this, I can't help but feel some kind of affection.
We're here.
Gripping the door by its handle, Kyoko musters just the right amount of force to reveal the world behind it delicately. Her smile grows wider, lips raised up by her cheeks as they softly quiver as if she's about to talk. But nothing comes out. With one small foot past the door, Kyoko takes the first step inside. The club is now in session. So, what's the plan for today?
Anything really. It's science. Everything's bound to be fun.
I think we should cook crystal meth and sell it for a profit, and then donate it to charity. It's not as if we have a it's not as if we have a particle accelerator here. Surely there are limits, yet as it stands, Kyoko doesn't seem like she really cares about any kind of restrictions. The world is her playground, whether it's in here with me, or on the athletics team with...
Naomi. She used to make the same face as you.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Kyoko continues forward now, shrouded by an awkward aura she helped to create. Well, there's only so much blame you can place on someone for making a certain expression. Her words, however vague, still fuels the ongoing fire within my mind surrounding their relationship. Transition time, water time. Sat upon my usual stool, I can't help but twiddle my thumbs as I once again watch Kyoko's usual routine. The afternoon light, showering the room in a blissful aura, adds more to her usual charm. Her figure is accentuated not just by the brightness, but the flow the lab coat around her curves. She surely is athletic. It's no wonder she did so well in the athletics team. As a girl with so many options, I can only wonder why she founded this science club in the first place. She could have easily joined an out-of-school track team. Kyoko steps back in shock, almost knocking over the clamp stand behind her. What's wrong?
I've run out of DC Pep.
And that's...
The chloral.
Never mind.
You never let me finish.
Maybe that's because her jargon is completely foreign to me. Peering towards her, it's apparent that this has obviously upset her. The lack of chemicals, a true inhibitor to science. Kyoko's dark eyes glint in the light as tears begin to well within them. Despite seeing her like this before, she's never once burst into tears before me. A downpour from her likely stronger than the rains in the... What the fuck? A downpour from her likely stronger than the rains in the Serengeti, so enough of a reason to prevent it from happening. I don't know if that sentence made sense or not. We can just get some more, right?
But by the time we get there, the store will be closed. It's already pretty late.
A glance at my phone screen is enough to prove she's right. We've been here for a while. But still, we had fun, right? Even if she didn't manage to finish her experiment, even if I didn't do anything either.
That's true. I always have fun. With you.
This time, I can't help but be the one to blush. Looking at my reflection in the window behind her, it's pretty apparent she's not the only one who's embarrassed. Yeah, me too. The words come out, held back by a beating heart. Having spent so much time with her, she really is becoming something special. Kyoko finishes putting the last few odds and ends away, giving us an ample enough reason to finish up for the day. Now standing by the door, Kyoko lifts her head to match her eyes with mine, another sad look within them as lights hit their glossy, damp surface.
I'm sorry it couldn't last longer.
It's fine. I know you'll make up for it next time. What with her energy, it'll be easy for her, yet the thought of what could go wrong still lingers in my mind. My head. Oh. Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
For what?
Being my friend.
Aw. Averting her eyes, Kyoko leaves me with no other option but to stare onwards towards her reddened face in silence, the image rendering me speechless. She really is cute.
Anyway, we should probably get going.
Yeah, you can go on ahead. I have to speak to Mr. Kabir about something. That's probably the best excuse I can think of to slip off and see Naomi. Walking off the school grounds with her only to run back towards the gym is going to look pretty suspicious.
You sure? I can go with you if you like. But I'm not really sure if he likes me.
Probably because you defied her expectations when answering his questions. It's fine. She's got a little 3 mouth going. Twirling around, Kyoko's silky hair flows through the air as she turns towards the stairwell, sparing a moment to turn her head back towards me.
You know, I was really looking forward to walking home with you.
Oh, are we gonna have to make a choice here? Like to stay after school and meet Naomi or walk home with Kyoko? Fuck. Or maybe we don't have a choice. Heading down the staircase, Kyoko disappears quickly enough to strip me of any time to respond, spare a heavy heartbeat and a feeling of wooziness.
Studies show that surges in dopamine can cause symptoms, such as mild confusion or dizziness.
And you're telling me this because...
I nearly fainted the other day. Shouldn't you be concerned?
Maybe in a way I do enjoy science more than I thought. She used to make the same face as you, says Kyoko. In our transition. So it looks like we're on our way to meet Naomi in the next episode. Oh, you see what I did there? I tricked you little Marcopies, didn't I? You little Marcopi Suians. Oh, dude, I could just kiss every one of you. I could kiss all my subscribers on the lips, on the mouth. Yeah. So that's it. Like that's it. I want to keep playing. Like I want to extend this episode. Like I literally have to chain myself down to stop myself from playing because I really do enjoy this game. So much, in fact, that after recording those 3 episodes of Doki Doki, I don't know when you're going to see this episode, but I recorded 3 episodes in a row, and I really missed this game. And then I recorded like 3 or 4 episodes of a row for this game. So I probably won't do that in the future. I'll probably go like 1-1-1-1 because that seems like a good way to balance. You don't need to hear my thoughts. You'll see what happens when I upload the videos. Either way, if you really want one game over the other, like comment, let me know. Reach out to your neighborhood Marcopi, your friendly neighborhood Marcopi. Anyway, I rambled way too long in this outro. Go ahead and do me a favor. Do me 3 favors. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And as always, do me a 4th favor. Help me find... Fucked it up. Help me find a girlfriend, and bye-bye.